Welcome back to another episode of Know Your Worth TV. My name is Efrain Lozada, and I'm so thankful that you have tuned in to another episode with us. Today we have Miss Sammy Styling. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. And if you guys don't know who this is another nominee that is being nominated for our fashion blogger category. I'm so excited to know more of the story, the background, how I got started, how long she's been doing it. But as you know, every single interview is also talking about maybe some of the things that they had to experience, some of those challenges that they've had to encounter. Because through every successful story, don't think it happens overnight. It actually takes some time, it takes some work, there's some dedication, and it also takes for you to be consistent to upkeep that work, right? So many people say that you're so lucky for what you received, but don't know those steps you had to take to get there. So today we're sharing another beautiful story. So Miss Sammy, how tell us a little bit about what is that you do on a day-to-day basis and how many years you've been doing it.
Well, influencer wise, day to day base, I am a fashion and blogger influencer. I dabble a little bit in beauty. So basically, I showcase how to put looks together on a budget, and also I showcase different places to visit and eat in South Florida. Day to day, I do have a 9 to 5, so I do my regular work in the morning. I work from home, which allows me free time to do my passion, which is influencing. And usually every weekend I try a new restaurant or I get invited to different restaurants so I could share it with my followers.
Love it. And what brought that up? Like how did it even get started for you?
Fashion wise, I had a friend that sat me down. She was influencing and she was like, "What are you doing with your Instagram?" I was like, "Nothing, posting." I've always had a knit for fashion. I've always liked color. I always like mixed matching patterns. I like to play around. I describe myself as vibrant. So she was like, "You get paid." I was like, "Paid? What do you mean?" She was like, "You could get paid for posting." So I would say like she gave me that nudge. She, helped me a little bit. Her name is Kira Abood. She helped
Shout out
me.
to her.
Yes, she helped me, and I was like, okay, I could do this. If I'm doing it for free, why not doing it, to start off with money? So I started posting, started having a little bit more structure, explaining how to put clothes together, explaining how to put patterns together, color blocking, where to get the item, how to get items for less. Because unfortunately, a lot of people do not have the money to be on a certain bracket. So I usually in that bucket where shop for less, but don't look like you shop for less.
So when you said shop for less, where we going? Thrift stores? Where we going?
I do thrift store, I do secondhand, I do consignment, I do fast fashion. So I do highs and lows, whatever it is,
I
highs
love
and
it.
lows. Yeah.
I love it. And would you ever thought this would be a thing?
No. When she told me that, I was like, get paid. What are you talking about? Like I've heard of it, but I've always heard celebrities get paid, for
Yeah.
their name to say something here and there on their Instagram. But it's true. It's true. It's true.
So how many years have you been doing this now?
So I'm baby influencer. So
Baby
I'm going
influencer.
on a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah. Year and a half, almost 2 years. I've
Wow.
been
And
doing
have you got to that?
it.
Have you got to that point where you are getting compensated for your post?
Yes. Yes.
Nice. And how long did it take you from the time that you got started to get your first couple of dollars in?
My first couple dollars, I was at 7,000 followers, and that was probably 6 months in of
Say
influencing.
less. And it
Six
was
to
just
7 months.
was it straight consistency? Like, what do you think led to that?
Well, usually with influencing, you would have to do something that's called pitch yourself. So usually you work with brands that you're passionate about. I've always say go with brands you're passionate about. You don't want to sell to your followers somebody you never wore or somebody you feel like you don't support. So usually what I do is I have a list of people that I want to work with. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, I would reach out to them. I would investigate and find their marketing. If I can't find their marketing email, I would reach out to them through DM. I'll say, hey, I love your brand. I'm obsessed with your brand, and I would love to collab and bring followers into your brand and see how we could partner. Do you have a contact email? And usually they provide you a contact email, and then that's when you email yourself and pitch yourself. You show them your work on your Instagram. You show them what is the benefit of partnering with them. And then if they bite, you start telling them your rates and so forth, and then you continue a partnership. You will get a lot of no's. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
that now. You will get a lot of no's, but once you get that yes, it's like okay, I could do this. My first amount was $500. That sounds little, but that's a lot to me, honey. To post a
Girl,
little
that's a lot.
picture.
What you mean?
That
People
is
just be posting for
that
the
is
free.
I
five
was
hundred
I was
dollars.
happy. I was happy. I was happy because it's worth it.
Wow.
And it's just a picture and so forth. So and from then I continued being consistent with pitching and so forth. And they do ask for your insights. A lot of people think because you have a little bit of followers, you don't get paid, which is not true. A lot of marketing teams and so forth prefer high influencers, which they call I'm sorry, low influencers, which they call micro influencers, because your audience is more in tune. You know, your audience is more in tune. You're more engaged with your audience. Your audience know, oh, I like when you wear this. I like when you do this. You're known for patterns. You're known for this. So they
Yeah.
feel like when you have a smaller audience, it captivates the people more. So they work with both. They work with big influencers and micro. So a lot of people get a little intimidated by the numbers game, but I started at 7,000. And that was like part
Mm.
of different stuff that I got. I've gotten a billboard in Aventura Mall. I've gotten all this before 10K. I just reached 10K in December.
You talking game to people right now. People are
Mm,
about to go home and get in their closet and start picking out and
put
and
stuff
posting right now.
together. Yes.
That is so cool. So, when you said that you got that first yes, how
Hmm.
many no's did it take for that first yes?
10 million, thousand, and trillion. No. A lot. A lot. I can't think of the number, but it was one point that I was like, hello, is anybody getting my emails? Because it was like dead silence, dead silence. Then
Wow.
I'll have other people, which is bad to compare, but I'll have other people who will reach out to the same people and boom, they'll get a response. Same email, same time, because sometimes, you speaking to your counterparts, you speaking to your other, influencer people, and like, oh, you're sharing
Yeah.
information. You're like, hey, I'm reaching out to this people, this people, this people. Oh, do you have an email for these people? And you switch out and you get no's. So it was a lot of no's. It was a lot. It was a lot of, or they hit you with the, um, I'll give you free clothes. For a while you would have to do that. You don't have to. It depends
Yeah.
on you, but it's either you buy the clothes or you get free clothes. So I started off getting free clothes to build like my portfolio. As you could tell, I use
Mhm.
my Instagram as a portfolio. Basically, your Instagram is to show people what you could do with the clothes. And sometimes if it's a big brand, it's okay to take, well, at a certain level, it's okay to take one or two free clothes so they could see what you're working with. I did that with a hair company. They reached out to me. They asked me to promote a hair, and I was like, okay. It averaged up to $300-400. The actual hair. I need a new hair, so I was like, okay. So and I promoted it. It got really good reviews. They reached out to me for four different hair wigs to do UGC. UGC is unit. It's like a user generated content. So basically, it's stuff you take pictures and they use it on their platform. You don't have to post. You don't have to do nothing, which I prefer that. Like they're using your style. They're using what you use. You're doing the work for them, and then they have rights to the pictures and they get to put it on their platform, their website, and so forth. And they reached out to me and gave me a big amount just because I said yes to a free brand deal. So I feel like you would have to gauge and see.
That's good
So
stuff. You giving game right now. Anybody that's listening, they're like, "Oh crap, this is some good insight." Especially for myself, that you see, especially that I've actually interviewed a lot of bloggers or those that are into the fashion, and we have this one individual, and I'm gonna have to forward her this whole interview because she's into fashion. But she's just doing it right, and I'm like, "Girl, you're so creative. You need to do something with it." Just like your friend nudged you, like, "Girl, go do
do
something with
something.
it,"
You can
right?
make there's
Sometimes we
money
need
to be
someone. Yeah, yeah,
made.
there is money to be made. Um, so I love that you told the story. I love that you say, "Hey, I'm still doing my thing, 9 to 5, doing accounting," and which is really helping you,
Yeah.
right, in what you're doing. So that's actually a really good thing
Mhm.
to be doing. You're learning here. You're getting more expertise in this department, so that you can also continue to give back into what it is that you're doing. How much fun are you having doing this?
I love it because it's a passion. Fashion has always been a passion of mine. I've always liked fashion. There's one thing I've told myself. I have two kids. I don't look like I have a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old. And I've always
Yeah,
told
you don't look
myself,
like you got a
I
16-year-old.
don't look
Yeah,
like I
you
have
look
a 19.
good. You look good.
Yeah. So when I became a mom, I've always promised myself, because since high school, I've been into fashion. I've always promised myself to never lose myself of who I am
Hmm.
when I'm a mother. I will be me first. If fashion makes me happy, I will dress up and look good and push the stroller, dressing up and looking good. So I've always told myself I will never lose who I am. So I am having fun because fashion used to be something I love. Even in high school, I would have my little Pumas with my little Tommy dress on, with my door knockers. I'm coming to just, I had my little Taco Bell job so I could buy my clothes at Burn On so I could be dressed to death.
That is funny. That is so cool. That is to know that this is something that you've been doing for so long and just
Yeah,
doing it out of the love and out of the passion that you have for it. Never really a avenue of like going into fashion, but now you truly here getting to sometimes even I guess someone's play dress up, right? Oh, I gotta take this
yeah,
picture for these people. And that is just so cool for someone to love what they do that they it just became part of their lives now.
yeah.
Would you say that this is something that you want to continue to do long term? Is it something that you're just trying to keep as a side gig? What is that long term goal that you see with this? Because ideally it's a business that you're also entrepreneur on the side with
Yeah.
your 9 to 5.
Yeah, I would love to do this long term. Believe it or not, I love what I do also for work. I love accounting. Um, I feel like I want to do it till the wheels fall off. Until I'm 40 years old, 50 years old, showing people how to look fly at 60 until I am no longer able to. I feel like this is just something that's a part of me, you know? Like I just feel like I don't want to ever let myself go. And I feel like this is a perfect way to put myself together and feel good, you know?
Do you think that do you think that you'll get is there like a certain brand that you're wanting to get to that you're trying to push at, and do you think that you'll be able to get there within the next year or so?
Um, I'm more, it's not actually an actual brand. I would like to get into more of the high end space. Right now, I'm doing fast fashion like Fashion Nova, Zara, Pretty Little Things. I would love to get in more into the higher brands, but I mix high and low and so forth. But I feel like I can if I put my, put effort towards it. But believe it or not, that's just something where I feel like it'll come. It'll come.
Zara's actually a pretty big brand, so when you talk about Zara or that's very up there. That's
That's what popped
high
me
demand.
off. I continued doing a lot of Zara stuff and putting it together where a lot of people didn't realize you could put and mismatch stuff together with Zara, and that's what blew up my account and getting retweeted from different Zara accounts and different like Zara pages showing how to put stuff together and so forth. That's actually what grew my page.
And do you ever think about doing like styling for other people, or you just love styling for
Whew.
yourself?
So once upon a time in my young 20s, I used to style. So first I started off, my friend had a swimsuit line and I was her brand manager. So I would help all the models and so forth. We would have clubs, we would have like fashion shows at Live, Club Play, all of those places. And then I transitioned from that when she closed her brand to styling Christian artists. But I come to the realization that I don't have the patience.
Mm,
For people. I love people, but I don't have the patience. Like I
I
used
feel
to
you.
stop, and it's they want you to do a miracle with for $20. And with styling, you have to have a good relationship with different stores. Like it's very time consuming because you want to be able to pull items and so forth for stores. Once upon a time, I wanted to be want to do styling for stores, like a buyer and so forth. But then I saw the schooling and I was like, I'm not going back to school. So then I found this space to be virtual styling. I'm styling myself so you could see how you could put stuff together. I feel like this is my pocket and this is my space because this is something where, and I've always hear that when I post something, we're like, oh, I like those colors together. Oh, I would have never put those patterns together. And then you get an idea. I'll tell you where I got it. If it's old I'll give you the link and so forth. And then they'll put the stuff together or they'll mismatch certain colors together. Cause I'm somebody, I'll put a purple and a green and you'll be like, oh, okay. A polka dot and stripes, red and black and white. You get what I'm saying? Like I'll mix match a lot of stuff.
How many times have
Get
you have
funky.
you have how many times have you heard "Girl, You Crazy"?
No, I never heard that.
Never heard
Crazy?
that?
Not
Like
crazy.
with the
No.
things that you put together, like
Not crazy out here, funky or wow. Like I mostly hear I will never think to do that, but it works. I've always heard that. Not crazy, but I've heard I would never think to put those together. Those
so you
two.
always pretty much for the most part get your circle is giving the good compliments on
It's not even my circles only. I could be going to places, I could be going anywhere. I get it all the time
nice.
online. If I go to different events, it's like, wow, I like what you have on. Yeah, I was taking pictures in Coral Gables this weekend, and it was for a brand. I was doing a brand partnership, and like I mix matched a bunch of colors. And while taking the pictures, up and down, up and down. Oh my god, I like that. Old people, young people, they're like, oh my god, I like those colors, the way you put it together. And it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. So, these are people going to work and so forth. They're like,
Mhm.
I don't even speak, some of them don't even speak English. They're like, I like, I like. So I think it's just, it's different. And I think people like different because you're used to seeing people wearing the same thing. And it sounds bad, but I like to dress to be able to be like eye catching, like, okay, okay. I like that. I like the attention. I like the eye catching. I
And you
like
say you
that.
were always like this? This was growing up, high
Yeah,
school, middle
yeah,
school?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Man,
but I
stay out.
think it gotten more evolved while I got older. In school, I would wear like big flashy jewelry, big charms. I like flashy. I'm very flashy. So I used to be very flashy. So it shows in my style. I'm very flashy. My kids hate it. They're like, you do too much. But I'm flashy. I love
Where
flashiness.
does it come from? Where do you think this originated?
Because my mom is not like that. My kids are not like that. I think it's just something that was embedded in me. I would love watching like shows and seeing different models. I would binge American Next Top Model. I would just look at different stuff. I don't know. I've always liked
Just
fashion.
grew up. That was your thing. Just
Mhm.
oh
Yeah,
wow.
it was just a niche for me.
That is so cool. I don't know where life is going to take you, but for you to come back in full circle to kind of be doing this at a virtual level, there's something so much more in this space that you haven't even tapped into. Who knows, right? You're so
Yeah,
early on. You're
yeah.
going well so far. You're getting some brand deals. You're going to get even more brand deals. Those that you're reaching
I
out to
received
that they
it.
said no now, they'll say yes at some point, right? They'll come back
Yeah.
and you'll get those deals.
Oh
So that's actually
yes.
amazing to know that you actually started in the space of styling people. So you
Hmm.
kind of worked in that fashion industry for a little bit. You were able to see what you liked and what you didn't
Hmm.
like, and now here you are doing virtual and seeing what you do like. And again, it'll go back to somewhere bigger than probably just virtual. But it's definitely a space that is, I think, definitely you. And knowing that this is what you've been doing and authentically you, this is what you need to be.
Hmm.
Um, what are some of the challenges you've experienced on this journey?
Believe it or not, I'm in the challenge right now. So one of the challenges I've experienced is once I hit a certain number, which was 10K, my account got shadow banned. For the life of me, I cannot figure out how. I dropped down from having almost 400,000 impressions of eyes on me on a monthly basis to 17,000 impressions.
Oh wow.
That is a huge shock. And I'm still there. I've been at the same number since December. And I've tried everything. I've tried changing up my content. I've tried reaching out to Instagram, tried giving a break, tried different like I feel like I tried it all. So I think I'm in that season now and I have to keep telling myself to keep going because there's a couple times I'm like, maybe it's just because I'm getting brand deals, but I can't push my account to get brand deals. Thank God I'm getting brand deals of people reaching out to me, but I can't really pitch because when you pitch, the first thing people want to see is your insights. My insights are all in red. That's not good. What can you
Mm,
give me if everything's in red? I look good, but nobody's seeing it. And that happens, especially with the new algorithm, with the new changes of Instagram. It gets very challenging. It gets challenging. It gets depressing. It gets like you're unmotivated. But I try to keep pushing myself and saying, look, you're doing this for the love of the passion. Because and then I'm still getting brand deals. So what are you complaining about? Are you um thinking about numbers? Because it boils down to the numbers. Because if this was really a passion, it would not have come down to the numbers because you're getting brand deals, so you're getting the money
yeah.
and you're doing what you love. Your issue is the numbers. So now it's starting to be vain. So I had to check myself and be like, okay, because I'm still doing what I love. I'm posting and I'm getting money because these brand deals that are reaching out to me are not for me to post. These brand deals are UGC. Like I got a huge UGC content where they're paying me like a couple $1,000s. So well, why am I complaining?
Yeah.
So I had to check myself and be like, this will come. I'll continue being consistent, but it's been like that since December. Yeah, my number has not changed. I've been sitting
Well,
at the same.
I'd love the word consistency. So let's tap into that. How important was being consistent through this all? How important was that?
Oh, consistent is the name of the game. If you're lazy, it will show in your work. If you put your all in it, it will show your outcome. I post every day except Saturday. Saturday is like my off day. I post every day. What I do is I go on my insights and see when all of my followers are active. Everybody could go on if you have a business page, you could go inside your insights. And I think it's under followers. If you scroll to the bottom, each day of the week will tell you how the range of people of your followers are on. My days are usually 3 p.m. or 12 p.m., 12 p.m. or 3 p.m. Between those times, I post every day consistently.
Mm.
Consistently.
How
The
many
only
times a
days
day you say you post?
once. I used to post 2 times a day, but then I was like, I'm not seeing any difference, and I felt like I was wasting content. So I just decided to post once a day. I tried to do reels, and then on Fridays I try to do a restaurant. So majority of my stuff, my main niche is fashion, and then like on Fridays or Thursdays I'll kick in a restaurant because I know the weekends people usually like to go out, they like to hang and so forth, and those are pretty good also because those are where the restaurants in South Florida reaches out to me. Like the other day, a taco place reached out to me, very cute place in Design District. And usually what they do is they comp you in a date or you in the plus one. You get like 2 drinks and they give you either a budget or they tell you order whatever, as long as you do a post and talk about their restaurant. So, it's pretty sweet.
Mm. Listen, I see so many people do this and don't realize that there is a whole business behind this. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're talking about this, I'm hoping that people are actually taking this into consideration, especially the foodies that just go and take pictures and just post, take pictures and post.
Tag them, tag them, tag them,
Man,
tag
listen, I be trying to
them,
tell
tag
people, but what you talking about right now, this I need to go ahead and just again, send them this whole interview. You out here just giving game, right? Free game. Now, the difference between free game and someone actually learning is that normally when it is free game, they actually don't do the work. Right. You can say all this extra free work all the time, but someone actually physically has to go and do it. So I'm appreciative of you definitely saying what it takes. Now, for you guys that are watching, go and do the work. Um, so, was there a business that reached out to you that you were just in shock?
Yeah.
Can you not say?
Skims. I
Skims?
was like, where
Oh,
did
you
they
said
find
Skims.
me? Yeah, Skims.
Wow, that is
I
a
was
big
like, where did
brand.
they find me for Christmas? They asked me to do their Christmas campaign. I was like, what the hell? Where did they? Yeah, at first I thought it was like spam because you get mad spam emails.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, I was like, but I didn't complain. I delivered.
And how did that make you feel knowing that you got a
I
brand like
felt like,
Skims?
okay, I'm being seen. They see your girl. Like I was proud. I was like, and I know it sounds vain, but I was more of like, my work, like being consistent is working. Because sometimes you don't hear nothing, it's crickets. It's like you don't hear nothing, and then boom, out of the blue. Because remember, one part of it is you're reaching out. So when you're reaching out, you're hearing crickets. I reached out to Skims in the beginning of my
Journey.
like, yeah, but sometimes I've heard or learned that, yeah, you reach out, they don't say nothing, but they watch you. There's so much times that I see PR agencies and so forth inside my stories, they don't say nothing, and then probably months later they reach out. So they do watch you. That's why I say it's always good to reach
Yeah.
out probably when you're at certain numbers, and then try to reach out again. I remember reaching out to Skims, and it was something real easy, real simple. It was even like, hey, I'll even do free clothes, this and that. Crickets, nothing. And then they reached out for me for their
And
holiday
gave you
campaign.
and when they reached out to you, they must have gave you a good payday because now they reached out to you.
Yeah, it was a good amount.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And see, just because you hear no, don't mean that's a no forever. It's a no, you
Exactly.
probably not ready, right? Or no,
Yep.
maybe I
And you
don't have
keep
anything
working
for
on your
you.
craft and keep going. I don't care what nobody say. I feel like they see it and they're watching. They're
Uh,
watching. They're watching. Like I'm
This is
working on a brand right now, and almost all of their one of my friends who's a higher influencer, she threw my name in. She was like, "Man, I know you would kill it." And that's the brand that I was taking pictures for. I guess she threw my name in there, and she has a lot of followers. And they reached out to me, so they was like, "Hey, we'd like to work with you." They saw my profile. They posted me on their page, and when I was going through their page, almost every single creator they work with is like in 100,000s, 200,000. I think I was like the lowest, and they're the one who gave me a couple thousands, and then they reached out to me again for their summer campaign. So I feel like the numbers don't matter as long as you're bringing your quality of work. That's why I say be consistent. Sometimes
yeah.
that number stuff, it don't matter. It don't matter. It matters if you're trying to get a certain amount, but I feel like your work should speak for itself, And then you
Hmm.
should do this for love also. At some point, yeah, you want to get paid because you don't want to feel like, I know some women, well, some creators want to do this as work. I still have the luxury of having a job. So this is not like my end all be all. So I know some people, this is their job. So they don't play around with the amount. Like they're like, this is my budget and this is
Yeah.
this and that. Now I'm at a point where I don't budge. Like this is my budget. If you don't work with it, I give them a thank you. And when your budget permits, reach back to me.
And you're you're
Like,
you're doing completely everything still on your own?
yeah.
Marketing,
Yeah.
managing.
I don't have nobody. No, my daughters take my pictures. I edit my pictures and post them. I do everything on my own. That's why I made sure to get a job that was work from home. I work from home. Like that was adamant for me. So I would work from home. I have certain days where I do batch create, like on
Hmm.
Saturdays from 7 o'clock in the morning until I do my last outfit. I'll batch create the whole amount, everything that I have to do. So I have like a month worth of content and post every day and post every day. And then the
So
next
one
month,
day you do a month worth of content.
yeah. Yeah. And then but you have to understand throughout that month, you're going out. I'm going out for the weekend. So boom,
Yeah.
that's content because you're taking pictures, you're going to a restaurant. That's a restaurant content because I'm talking about restaurants. So I'm taking videos of the food. That's a reel. You taking an outfit picture, that's a picture. You go out the next day, you probably go to brunch with your family. You're going
Hmm.
to a restaurant, that's a content. If there's a concert, you talk about the concert, that's a reel. So I incorporate, so the pictures and it all ends up into a month because I'm very active. Like I go out every weekend. So I'm very, very active.
There's some good stuff. And you said your daughter's taking it. Is it just on the phone?
I have a Nikon camera and the phone. So it depends how the weather is. We're in Florida. You're in
Hmm.
Florida? You're
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Okay. So
I'm
we
in
have
Orlando,
bipolar
but
weather.
Florida weather. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
for
if
sure.
the sun is out, I like the quality of my phone, like portrait mode. If
Uh-huh.
it's like gloomy, I'll take it with my Nikon with the flash.
So
You
what
know,
is the percentage, the ratio between your phone and your camera? What would you say?
I mostly take it with my phone because the camera's big and
Mm.
bulky.
I almost don't want to hear what your answer is when I ask this, but what is the phone that you're using?
14 iPhone.
Ah, I was hoping you said Android. Jesus.
No, iPhone. I like it because editing is easier and I don't have to do that much editing.
That's
And
because
I
you didn't
like
use.
the
That's because you didn't use
nah,
Android yet.
I don't like when they upload. When they upload it,
Oh,
the storage
okay. I hear
is
that all the time. I hear y'all
yeah,
Android haters say that all the time.
is the storage. No, iPhone is it.
No,
But I
that's
I
good.
go between the two. My Nikon and but I want to upgrade my camera. I want to get a upgraded camera.
No, I asked that question, right, because so many people and people reach out to me even on the content that I do. Was like, oh, I want to start this,
Hmm.
but I need better equipment. And you're
Okay.
telling me it's like, no, I'm just going outside and I'm taking it on my phone. You know what I mean? Yes, you
Yeah.
may need a new phone. However, you don't need the newest phone. Start somewhere. Start with what you
Exactly.
got
I agree.
and let it build off of that. Because it's
Yeah.
so cool even to see, like, even when I go back and watch some of these interviews on where it started, the quality of
Hmm.
the videos and things like that. And to go back, I had to buy a mic over time. I had to
Yeah.
buy the camera over time. I had to learn the background over time. So that's why I'm happy that you said, listen, I'm just using my iPhone right now. And I'm getting paid hundreds of dollars to take my iPhone outside with the sun in the background and just editing on my phone.
Yep.
So I'm
Pretty much.
happy that you share that piece of you listen, you dropping some good stuff right now.
Do
Free
you know
game.
why I
Right?
want a camera? I just want a camera for my reels. I notice the quality of reels when it gets distorted a little. But the camera is really for my reels. The pictures, I don't mind the pictures on my camera, but the reels, I want a crispier look, and that's why I want to upgrade my camera. But other than that, if you're starting off with pictures, your phone, you could edit.
Yeah.
There's free edit apps everywhere, and if it's not free, it's like $2.99 a month. um CapCut, all these places. TikTok, you could edit within TikTok. Like, you could do so
Mhm.
much stuff. It's just being consistent and having the drive to want to do it.
Do you ever find in this game people be greedy with like information?
Yeah, but I'm blessed to have a circle that's not like that. Thank God. But I've heard stories of people, but when people ask me, I've had people who ask me to they take me out to lunch and then to pick my brain. I don't mind it. But I feel like it's room for everyone to grow. What I bring, you can't I could give you the same outfit. Like, for example, that brand deal I did. We're shopping from the same website. I guarantee you none of those girls gonna put the outfit the way I did. None of them. And I could say that with my chest
That
out.
confidence
Nobody.
level, that
No one.
confidence, come through that
No
confidence.
one.
Where does the confidence come from? Where's all this confidence come from?
um, because I know I'm good. I know
Ooh.
I know I'm good. I know I'm good because I I like how I look. And it's not from what people are saying, it's how I feel. I feel good. I'm not dressing for other people. So I know I look good. If I feel
Yeah.
good, it could look crazy to people. I don't care. I feel good. Like, I feel like I look good. I
That's
feel
really
like I
good.
look
That comes from
that's
somewhere. Your mom must have really done a good job. People grow up and don't have the confidence and the I listen, I'm just look at me. You know what I mean? Like, so that is really, really
oh my god, that's
good,
hard.
good
I don't want to
stuff.
seem coming out cocky, but I think you have to have confidence in your work. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're putting out if me, I'm putting out something and telling you to buy. If I'm not confident, why would somebody work with me to sell their clothes?
Mhm.
I have to be confident that I'm going to be able. It's like I'm pitching myself. I am the brand. So I have to
Yeah.
be confident. I have to come out like, you need me so your stuff could sell. If I don't come out and be like, yeah, maybe why would they hire me? So
Yep.
you have to have that energy of, I'm somebody you need on your roster to
No,
bring people to put stuff together.
it's not cockiness, it's confidence. That's how I look at it. And people don't know how to distinguish the both of them. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
not cocky, it's confidence. And I love that you say, hey, listen, I'm not being cocky. I'm just being very confident in who I am. And that's exactly the line that you need to be using, because I'm pretty sure people come across like, she thinks she got it all together. No, I'm just confident in me. Thank you,
I
though. You know
don't.
what I mean? And keep it
I
moving.
don't. I have
What
a
do you?
testimony. I am not all together. Look, my followers never grew. So everybody has stuff going on. I think it's just, I don't, and I'm like this in every aspect in life. I don't dwell in bad situation. I don't like to be unhappy. I don't like to be miserable. If stuff happen, I believe God will make a way and just move forward.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What do you tell somebody that's wanting to get into this career path of influencer, social blogger, wanting to get brand deals? What is your advice to them?
My advice to them, number one, is first find out what are you passionate about and what is your niche. Once you figure out what you're passionate about and what is your niche, you move on it. Not sitting there thinking. There's people who are like, oh, I want to do an influencer for the past 2-3 years. Move on it. Go outside, start small. I always tell people, start with one post a week. After you do that, once you feel comfortable, start with 2 posts a week. Start making sure your stuff is presentable, and then be consistent. And then once you get to a place where you're continuing posting and so forth, look at different people that are in your area that you're working in. If you're into fashion, I'm not saying copy them, but see what they're doing. Study. Just like you want to be a doctor, you study. If you want to do something, you study it. You see what they're doing. You see, what kind of platform they use. Are they using hashtags? Are they not? There's a difference of copying, and there's a difference of educating yourself. At least
Yeah.
okay, this person's doing reels. Maybe I should start off with reels because it's working. I'm not saying put this shirt on the way they put this shirt on and so forth. Put your remix on it. And from there, move forward.
Mm. This is good stuff, man. And I'm hoping people are really going to utilize this information that you're providing them because you here giving the whole book. Like this is a whole ebook right now. You know what I mean? If you want to create an ebook and put this in an ebook, you can, because this is literally the steps that you tried an era of what you personally
Yeah,
were able to create. And to know that you doing every single step still yourself. You're posting yourself. You're taking the pictures. I mean, you and your daughter and your family, but still yourself. You're managing your own account. You're managing the monies coming in. So that's huge, huge steps. So at some point, you'll grow where you don't have to, and you have maybe a manager or something, which, fingers crossed is coming soon for you, right? Where you just so overloaded you can't even do it on your own.
I refuse.
Um, but that is some good stuff. What would you say has been just in life some of the challenges to become who you are today? I mean, like you mentioned, Sammy always smiles, a peaceful person. Is there therapy involved? Is there like, what is it? How do you get here?
How do I get here? I have a testimony. I had my first daughter at 17. I was a young mom in high school when it was taboo. And I've dealt with abuse. I dealt with being homeless. I dealt with somebody kicking me out their house, my daughter's dad, and telling me, get out my house, take my clothes in a bag, throw it down in the balcony, and threw it out the house. I think that with God, God helped me through a lot. God helped me through a lot. I understand that the type of woman I am, that it does not define me. I overcame a lot. I was a statistic. I had kids. I was supposed to be on welfare. I was supposed to not look like I made it. And I believe with God, with a good village, my friends, my family, and therapy, still in therapy, but therapy,
Love it.
it helped me through a lot. I'm not saying my life is perfect, but I feel like I overcame certain stuff for a reason. I overcame to help certain people. I overcame to show people you don't have to look like what you've been through. I don't have time
Mm,
to waste my life being sad. I don't have my time. Like, I'm not living a miserable life. I live in a good house. I own my own house. I own my own car. I have a car. Like, my oldest daughter is graduating on Thursday. So when I was having her in 12th grade, she is now in 12th grade graduating. So I feel like I am a testimony. That's why I'm probably so
yeah.
happy and
You
grateful.
overcame the odds. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love what you say, when you mention like you don't have to look like what you went through. Right? Here
Exactly.
goes this beautiful
Yeah.
woman, smiling, into the fashion, doing her own thing. And I appreciate you being open on what it looked like prior, and that you were able to overcome it, and that you have to go to you didn't have to, but you did go to therapy,
I do
and you're
support.
still in it.
Yeah.
Has that been an experience in itself? Like, I'm pretty sure you probably never even, it wasn't something that was spoken about at home. Was it an experience in itself, a challenge just to get into it?
No, I was in therapy. My mom was somebody I've known therapy since I was younger. My mom seen I had
What?
behavioral issues when I was young. I remember it being like 5, 6, 7 in therapy. They had like the little hidden coloring books to color, and the doctor's asking me, "What's going on?" I'm like, "What is he talking about?" I've my mom, and that's why if I see something going on with my girls, I throw them in therapy. I'm a big advocate of therapy. I've known
Love
therapy.
it.
Yeah, which is rare because I'm of Haitian descent, and you don't hear Haitians. They usually go pray about it or get out my face.
Don't pray about
But
it.
I've been off and on. I've known therapy since I was younger. If
That is
something's going on
amazing.
with my kids, like I know at one point they were like fighting. So my kids are very like they know how to communicate. You're not going to this world broken. So I'm very
Wow.
big on being whole. No, you're not gonna be in this society broken. You're gonna be whole.
I love this. You're so amazing. You are so amazing. I really want to talk. You say you're such an advocate on therapy. So, what
Mhm.
do you think therapy does for an individual? Since you've been day one, very young, doing
I
this.
feel like sometimes we are naive to certain situations. And when you sit down with a therapist, it depends what therapy you like. I like a therapist that listens, but gives me a different outlook. So the
Mhm.
therapy I work with, she gives me a different outlook. So I could be like, I'm this, but she rearrange it to make me look at it a different way. And I'll be like, oh, you're right.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
something I would think of that's like they think this, and she was like, no, it's this, and then I'm like, you might be right.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
feel like it makes you have a different aspect of life or situations that you have some people think therapy is taboo, but I think it's actually enlightening because you're talking to someone who don't know you. You're
Hmm.
talking to somebody that's not going to judge you, and you're talking to, if you have the right therapist, you're talking to somebody that will give you insight. Isn't that why you talk to your friends? But you get the judgment behind it and you get it
Yeah,
thrown back in your face behind it
all the
sometimes,
time.
especially if
Yeah.
it's about a man or something. So with therapy, it gives you solution. It gives you like ways to think about it. And I feel like therapy should be an ongoing thing off and on. You don't have to go fully. That's why I feel like with relationships too. Some people who's been married, I feel like almost every married person that's been married for a long time, they've been to couples therapy at least once to get communication or something like that. So you can learn to communicate. It doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you need help. Everybody needs help. So
Sammy, that's so good. I love it. And you're right, right? That when it comes to like therapy, it's no one really telling you about yourself. It, like you said, if you have the right one, but it's someone really sometimes even just asking you a question and making you
mhm.
think. And when you
Like,
think
oh,
about the question they ask, you're like, oh, you're right. I never thought it like that. And that's that good therapist that you're going to feel that vibe. But as you mentioned, it's not every therapist is like that. You have to
yeah,
find the one for you. The same one that you go
yeah.
and find your boyfriend and girlfriend that is for you. You go to find a therapist that is
That's
just for you.
right.
You know what I mean? You
What
got to go
you
date
fit.
around with the therapist.
Yeah, exactly.
That is so good. I do not know anyone yet, other than you now, that has told me, listen, I've been doing this since I was 5 years old, and I love it because
I like it. Yeah.
some people went one time and hate it, and,
Didn't
and
find the right person because
I
I've
agree.
had a couple words. I loved her, like she was an awesome person, but she wasn't helping me. She was just letting me talk. So I feel like when you find the right one, it helps. But I'm a very open-minded person. I've always been an open-minded person because of what I've been through. So I'm not a judgmental person. So maybe that's why I fit with therapy. I didn't have a regular life. My mom
Mhm,
was a young mom. I was a young mom. So I'm very like I'm non-judgmental. I'm very open. I'm very like it is what it is. I'll try
mhm.
it. If I'm not getting hurt, I'll try it. So I think that's just my personality, you know. So
I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning of this, you said the longest interview you've done was 5 minutes. You are
I
43, 42 minutes in,
I
and
talk too
it's not that you talk too much. It's just a lot of times there's so much that we have within us, and when we're having good conversations like here on Know
much.
Your Worth TV, you gotta want to check out more interviews because that's what we're having is just truly a conversation. But
Mhm.
hopefully that you're able to really kind of see like, man, I'm doing really well. You know what I mean? When I
Yeah.
go back into that story where you said someone kicked you out and told you to get
That's
out,
yeah. My daughter's dad.
sometimes we need that because you getting out that situation, you could put in a way better situation. You spoke about God. God provided you a way better situation. And sometimes we're so afraid to get out of that situation because we don't
Mm-hmm.
know what's next. But here you are doing a phenomenal job. You have a little girl that's graduating. You're getting paid to do what you love to do when someone told you get out, and probably left you what could have been a very dark place, but you overcame it. You know what I mean? So I'm so happy to hear the story. I see the smiles, and again, she mentioned, "Hey, I'm not perfect, but who is? None of
Yeah.
us are perfect. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as perfect. We all have these imperfections, but it's what you do with that imperfection and how you carry it. In your case, you're carrying it with confidence. You're
Yeah.
carrying it with love and peace. So that's just an amazing thing. So I got two more questions, just because we
Okay.
got a little bit more
Shoot 'em
time.
at me.
One question would be because I want you to go back maybe one day and watch this very first long interview because you have many more coming your way.
I will see.
Um, what do you see long term for Sammy?
Long term, I see me elevating in my influencer career. I see me getting bigger deals. I'm seeing me going on brand trips, working closely with brands, even probably collabing with a brand, like creating maybe my own line of putting
Mm.
stuff together. Yeah, I see that for me.
I don't see any maybes though. I see that you're going to do these things because we're going to speak them into existence. Ain't no maybes. Maybe you got to come out the vocabulary here. But yes,
Yeah.
you're going to be doing all that. And I love it so much that you will be doing it. I can't wait 5 years from now. Hopefully, I get that interview that's
Oh
just as
yes.
long and that we're talking about all the things that you've been able to accomplish from this moment where you're still so baby, as you mentioned, in an influencer game and talking about fashion. And just imagine what consistency does for you 5 years from now are doing the same exact thing, educating yourself, doing the research, you about to go far here in this game.
Oh,
So
I receive it. I
for
see it.
sure. All right. So my last question, just because I want to respect your time, is what is your know your worth moment that allowed you to know that I am so much more than my past, my story, my struggles?
What do you mean, know your worth moment?
Yeah. What was that moment that you went through in life that allowed you to know, like, I know who I am. I love me for who I am. I'm gonna go and do what is put on me. I'm gonna live my purpose. I'm going to live my passion.
My know your worth moment is not actual moment, it's actually looking at my kids and knowing that I have a legacy to build and knowing that they cannot go forward if I fail. They can't go forward if I give up. So I had to pull my boots by my bootstrap and show them an example of a woman that even though I went through something, even though I went through anything, I could do it. I have a job. I'm doing something that I love, still be able to take care of them and still have fun. They still able to do stuff and so forth because God allows it and I do it with confidence and happiness. I try to be the best example to them that I can.
Absolutely. And that's why you're amazing. That's why
Thank
you're amazing.
you.
I always say life is so much bigger than us. It's not about us.
Yeah.
We already lived, we're still living our lives, but we live that youthful life and we learn from it. And now to pour into our kids, it's so amazing. It's just an amazing thing. And I know it just makes you so happy to see a little girl be graduating here in a few days, weeks. I'm not sure, I can remember what you mentioned a little earlier, but yeah, you doing amazing. You
Thank you.
amazing mom.
Thank
Don't
you.
let nobody stop you from being you.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yes, same here. Well, guys, this has been the end of this episode, but thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you guys are subscribing to the channel. Allows us to continue to grow, allows us to continue to interview more individuals that are just like you. We're all human at the end of the day. We all go through a story. There's no such thing as a perfect individual. It's just how we overcome those tough times in our lives. And you see here, Sammy, just a little glimpse of what she was able to share with us, letting you know that do not let anybody or anything stop you from being the best version of yourself. Don't stop it from letting you smile, from being authentically you. So make sure that you guys catch more episodes. Remember that these nominees are going to be at the second annual Spotlight Award, June the 28th, where you can go get your tickets today, contentcreatorsexp.com. Go ahead and follow their social media at Content Creators EXP. And if you want to see some dope fashion, you want to see what she's mentioning when it comes to content creation, make sure that you also follow Sammy Styling on her Instagram and see what she's doing. And like she said, go in there and learn, see how she's posting, see how she's using the hashtags, what kind of captions she's using. She's giving you so much free game. And Miss Sammy, it has been such a pleasure. I can't wait to do another interview soon. Guys, this
Yeah.
has been a URF TV. My name is Ephraim. I'll see you guys on the next episode.